Let's return to the project we had, but let's reconfigure this for Mvvm. So we'll add a folder, and we're going to call that model. And the convention is to make that singular. Let's add another folder, and we'll call that one view. And once again, we use the singular, not views, but view. Finally, we need a folder called view model. And that's going to complete the folders that we need for Mvvm. Next thing to do is to drag contact, which is our model, our data, into the model folder. Then drag main.page.xaml into the view folder, because that acts as our view. What to do with contact generator? Let's create a new folder, not standard in Mvvm, but not unusual, called services. And this would be where we would put access to data services, and the contact generator will stand in for that. We're a bit more organized now, but we haven't really set up for using Mvvm. Let's run it and test that we haven't broken anything before we go any further. The project comes up and it runs as it did before. So let's close that, stop the application, and see if we can make this a bit more Mvvm. We'll go to the view model, and we'll create our first view model. And typically the way that's done is to take the name of the view and add view model to the end. So in this case, main page view model. Now let's go back to our view, code behind, and we see that we have a property called contacts. Let's take that out of the view and put it where it belongs in the view model associated with the view. So we'll drop that right in. It doesn't know what a list is, so we'll resolve that to generic. Now we're going to go down to init, and to simplify things, we're going to make the call to contact generator to be non-asynchronous, just to simplify things. But meanwhile, we pick up those 3 lines out of init, and we drop them into the view models constructor. We can take out the word await because we're not going to use an asynchronous approach. That has nothing to do with the view model, that's just a simplification. So we've taken the same code out of the view and moved it to the view model. Now we go back to the view, and the view can no longer be the binding context. We want the binding context to be the view model. We're going to declare an instance of the main page view model as VM, and then go down to our constructor, remove init, and change the binding context to be VM. Now we haven't instantiated VM, so let's go ahead and do that by saying that VM is a new instance of main page view model. Now our binding context is pointing to that instance, and so when we try to bind, we will bind to the public properties in main page view model. Before we forget, let's go back to the contact generator, which was prepared to be used asynchronously. Let's remove the async keyword, remove task, and now what we have is a public static method, create contacts, that returns a list of contacts. Let's run our application. Create contact will create a list, and the list view will display it. And there we are. The list view is displaying our set of names out of the list created by the create contact.